Most people say it is impossible to sell high ticket on school in the hobby niche. But today we are talking to one of our scalers, Kuhn, who went from charging hourly with the piano to charging $1,500 for his school piano program. And he recently sold a $10,000 deal for a 25-second commercial, all without a big audience and just a small school group. Kuhn, how's it going, my man?
I'm good. Thank you, Aiden, for the invitation, and thanks for that amazing introduction.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been going well.
Tell me tell me your story. What did life look like 6 months ago?
6 months ago, I started this year with the idea of starting a low ticket community. I started last year on school with the thought, okay, I want to create a passive income. And the narrative on school when I joined, I was like, create a nice space, a nice community, and start charging after 1 year.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought because I saw other school communities winning the school games because they did like a certain price per month, and then they drive up the price, and then that way deal with churn. So I was doing that in January. I started making YouTube videos. Was going well. And at one point, I had 50 paying clients at a price point of $5 per month, which totaled to $300.
Yeah.
And at that point, also my views started to became less and less. And then I thought, what do I need to do next? Because it became suddenly a lot of work.
Yeah.
And I was doing welcome calls with my members, and one of these members literally said on one of the welcome calls, "How much do you charge?" And I had no idea. So I told him, I will work on it and I will let you know later. That call was in January, actually. And I had the second call with him in April. So I had the courage finally to tell him, okay, I made a program for you. Let's hop on a call and I will read it to you. And that's what I did exactly is described in the synthesizer roadmap, which is, I think, in the last module, the last page, which has a Google Doc completely ready that you can fill in with your own details, with your own program. And I read the Google Doc in front of him and I charged $300. And he went from it. I changed my school price from free to $300 per year and he joined. And then I suddenly earned in one call the same amount that I worked on for more than a year towards this whole low ticket thing. And yeah, for me, I thought that becoming a coach or a trainer or a teacher, I thought that was going to limit my time. I thought that was going to, yeah, uh, I thought I would value my time more or something. And they said to me like, uh, wouldn't would charging high tickets not give you more freedom? Because it results in more financial results.
Yeah, it's like the work to deliver to 50 low ticket customers is pretty equivalent to the work to deliver to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 high ticket customers. And it's funny because you realize the more you go along this journey that the price sometimes doesn't really affect the expectation from the
Yeah.
customer. So they might expect the same level of support and deliverables and pinging you with questions at $5 versus 300. But now, Kuhn, that was your first sale ever a few months ago. I think it was in April, right? Since then, you joined scaling and we worked on taking things to the next level. How did you make the jump from 300 to your first $999 sale and then beyond that to say $1,000 sales?
Yeah. I mean, the $10,000 sale is, I consider it more a positive side effect from joining scaling. But let's first jump in your first question. I
Yeah.
think it all comes down to what Andrew says about pricing is inelastic.
Mm.
It's basically the same what you just said about that people expect the same thing at $5 or $1,500. And I think the example that Andrew gives is like when you buy a candy at $1 and then the next day it's $1.10, then you get upset or something. And then with coaching, you can charge it $1 or $100 or $100,000. And you are the only source of knowledge on that specific topic. So you can charge essentially whatever you want. And combined with the unique mechanism uh, that works, it works in coaching. It's proven, and so yeah, the guidance that I've had, you guys, is amazing.
And I would say it's not even charging whatever you want. I would say it's more so just charging your worth for developing your unique skill set, right? For
Yeah,
developing a
I think
specific
that's a
yeah,
better way to put it.
yeah. So I'd say it's like most people don't charge their worth.
Yeah,
And I think the transition for you was just charging more accurately to the value you are providing for somebody. And that's why people are excited to work with you and pay for your help and your time and your skills because you're giving them a shortcut. You're giving them a quick little jump in time to improve their skills and get this result, this transformation that you are the only possible source of because of your small niche and how you target them. But when you joined Scaling and you got your first $250, $300 sale and it kind of opened your eyes and you realized, shit, I could be charging $5 and get 50 customers, or I could get one customer, make the same amount of money.
yeah.
What were some of the first challenges you ran into, say, at the start of the program?
Um, so you're asking about after joining scaling?
Yeah.
I think what's a good problem to have, I think. Well, yeah, so I at one point we did the business backbone. So we go through the whole backstory and your proof. You collect everything that belongs to you essentially. Um, in the second part of the program, we do the rapid launch protocol. And that was very eye-opening for me because for the first time I was thinking of doing a launch where before I would think of a launch as one post and then sell your thing. And doing a launch that goes over multiple that goes over longer periods, if I think it makes more sense. It's you see what resonates with people on multiple platforms. So what we did literally is go to all the social platforms that you have, from Twitter to Instagram to LinkedIn to YouTube, and then post everywhere the same message: day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, until day 11. And then you're collecting all this resonance around your program, around everything you're doing new in your business. And then people start to book calls essentially because you leave your booking call link. And the way you and Andrew have laid it out for us, I think works because the order is like we start with whispering. It's like first you announce something will come maybe, and then it's like mysterious right in the beginning, and then in day 5 it becomes more feasible. You can finally click a link and you explain the problem and how and the solution. So that works. And then suddenly in a period of 10 days, I had 4 sales.
Wow. At the higher price as well, going from 300 to $1,000, right?
At the price point of $999, two of them paid in full and two of them were on the payment plan.
So you're telling me I didn't even know if I knew this, Kun, but you're telling me you came into the program, you were charging $5, then you got your first high ticket sale before starting after going through a free course, and then within 10 days, you got your first 4 high ticket sales with piano.
After the rapid launch protocol. So that was after 1 month. But then in the after that first month of doing the first thing, yeah, then it was in a period of 10 days.
Awesome. That's a big breakthrough. Let me ask you this, because I always find the answers interesting. Before joining the program, you and I talked, but what were your biggest concerns or maybe limiting beliefs before working with us? What were you scared of happening?
Um, well, y- you don't know if you are going through the transformation, obviously, because that is kind of a scary idea. You don't know if you actually will make that sale. And, but yeah, of course, you and Andrew have so much proof of helping people, and the synthesizer roadmap for me was already super valuable. So even though I was hesitating, um, I think I was in good hands.
Mm, I guess that's the power of community. I mean, let me ask you this as well. Do you think the moment your eyes were opened was when you actually pitched that? You kinda went out on a limb when you got that first $300 sale? Forget the, like, $10,000 sale you got last week or whatever, but that stepping stone, just asking for $300, do you think that was the moment your eyes kinda opened and you realized what might be possible even with, like, a small school group in the hobby niche?
That yeah, yeah, that's a good one because I think that's what I tried to say actually without actually saying it.
Mm,
The welcome call was in January, and in April I had that second sales call. So what I'm trying to say with that, I went through a personal mindset shift to actually go from low ticket to high ticket. Well, high tickets because it's
yep.
$300, but to do one-on-one coaching. And then, yeah, I think you're right that from that moment, I started to think, whoa, there's so much possible with this. And a 6-week coaching is pretty safe from my end. I can even expand it more to 3 months or 6 months and increase the price and help more people at the same time.
Yeah. Heck, well, I know when you started, you had some dreams. You worked in different production companies, you worked in, like, some Hollywood films and things like that. You had a lot of dreams, and then at one point in time, those dreams kinda came crashing down. You were waiting tables when we started talking. Walk me through that kind of journey at the start.
Right. Yeah. Where would you like to start?
Yeah. Maybe start by at the start of the roadmap, you came into synthesizer, you were waiting tables, you were working some side hustles at the same time, working in a restaurant, and you're wanting to start your school community. And even maybe we can use this post as a good frame that you made in synthesizer scaling, where you talked about
Oh, true. Yeah.
dream of becoming a Hollywood film composer.
Yeah. So that starts when I am 15 years old, 16 kind of. And I, yeah, I saw Hollywood movies and I became super inspired with the movie soundtracks. I wanted to create my own movie soundtracks. I wanted to play it on the piano because, yeah, that is what we're doing. And I did an education to become a film composer, music producer, and I did my internship, and I later worked at Cavalry Music, which is one of the highest critically acclaimed companies in LA, who works on Star Wars and Spider-Man for the trader music. And I worked indeed on a Netflix show, and I was nominated for a Young Talent Award. So yeah, things were going well, but in from project to project, I was always doing struggling with client acquisition, and that cost me a lot of energy. And that's why I became interested in passive income and in Alex Ramosi on YouTube. And then I discovered school, and then I discovered synthesizer. And yeah, because at one point in my life, I because the from project to project jumping was okay uh, at one point, but in like 2021, I started to live together with my wife, and we married and we got a baby in 1 year. So she's from Mexico and I'm in the Netherlands. So at that point, we started to we had a long distance relationship, and then your whole life is completely different in 1 year, and then that doesn't work anymore. Your life doesn't work the way it used to work. So I had to find something else, and that's kind of what inspired me to join this new path. And yeah, it led from one thing to another, joining synthesizer, using the roadmap, joining scaling, and this 10K offer is is kind of like I said, it's a side effect of joining scaling, because I completely quit client acquisition from my other business. And then suddenly, out of nothing, an old client reached out to me. And before I would say like, oh yeah, I charge 2K or something. And now I felt so much safety from being part of scaling. And now that I have a business that works, I charge way higher. And that gave me now security. So I hope that makes sense. But it was kind of my way of
Yeah.
kind of saying no to the old business, but also saying like, if you accept this, I'm more than happy to work on this, because this project is kind of the thing that I always pursued.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like we talked about at the very beginning of this call, pricing according to the value you're providing to your true work instead of operating out of, say, fear or limiting beliefs. And I've noticed that a lot of times in my own journey and in a lot of people I've witnessed, sometimes those breakthroughs are right behind the same decision of I'm going to say invest in myself. And I'm going to break the belief by investing in something like scaling, which, you weren't sure you could do. You weren't sure it was going to work for you. You were doing low ticket. You had a small audience. It was in the piano niche. There are a lot of factors kind of holding weight of, is this really going to work? But you took a chance. You invested in something like that. And that kind of broke the belief that you can also do that. You can also do that and you deserve to be doing that. I think that's where also beautiful money comes in. Because sometimes in the pursuit of beautiful money, we think beautiful money is money where the giver of the money is happy to give it to us, right? So we're giving more value than the price we're charging. But sometimes in the pursuit of that, we get scared to increase the price because we're worried that it'll decrease the value. And then that person might not be as happy to give us the money. However, beautiful money has two sides. It has the side of the person giving it to you, and it has the side of you receiving it. And if you're not happy to do the work for that price as well, then it is not in sense beautiful money. So if you did charge $2,000 there and you had that kind of resentment, kind of like, I don't even want to be doing this. I have this business that's working, then therefore it is not beautiful money as well. And I think people forget that. And that's where underpricing stems from. I don't think it's from a lack of value. I think it's a fear of the inability to provide value. Does that resonate?
Yeah, definitely. I love how you put that, how you say that. That definitely resonates. Yeah.
Well, well, you started synthesizer scaling, went from 0 to 4 at ticket clients, obviously beyond since then from $5 to $300 to $999 to $1,500 to $10,000 for a product. What do you think supported you the most in achieving this? Was it like the community, roadmap, mentorship?
So many things, honestly. I think it's in the tiny details. Um, well, being part of the community is a big one, but it's also the things that we actually learn to create a safe environment on the call with the other person. Um, like a very specific example is something that you always do. Instead of asking, "Do you have any questions?" you ask, "What questions do you have?" The one closes the door, the other one opens it. That's for me super tiny detail, but I love that.
Mm,
Another thing is from the sales call is to set the frame where you say like, okay, Aiden, so probably what would be most helpful is that I ask you a couple of questions around where you're at and what you're working on and where you want to go. Then if it sounds like we're a good fit, I can walk you through and what it looks like to work together. And at the end, you can decide if you want to be a part of it. Sounds good? Love that.
that's great. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's little simple tactical things. I guess what else? What else stood out to you when you were going through and learning?
Um, how you're doing it again. So it allows me to think.
Is there anything else? What else?
Yeah, what else? I think another positive side effect is doing this sales call training is that not only you improve your ability in sales calls, but you also improve your ability in real life conversations.
Mm,
It's like you develop better you
yeah.
develop better a listening ability.
Yeah. Yeah. I think sales is often misunderstood. And really, it's just effective communication and presence and education and listening and diagnosing. And I've noticed myself, I've fought a lot less with family, partners, friends. I bring some of the principles I've learned into the real world. Okay, well, what's been your favorite part? What's been your favorite part about scaling so far? Is it the hat, the yellow dragon fruit, something else?
It's I think cooking balls.
Picking balls? Oh, sorry. Kuhn's not a native English speaker. He meant booking calls, I think, right? Right, Kuhn? Booking
Oh
calls.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean booking calls. Sorry. I apologize. What one more thing is that what really resonated with me is just a very simple metaphor is that in a sales call you're the doctor and the student is the patient. And why that resonated with me because um often when you're in a call, especially if I'm talking to someone who wants to learn the piano, you ask a question and your brain already has an answer for them, but so you are kind of biased towards a certain answer. But what if your GP is already biased towards your problem? It's like not a good GP, right? um, Not a good doctor. So you want your doctor to be unbiased and really diagnose. I was triggered by that because you mentioned the word diagnose, to diagnose the problem and to create a custom program for them.
Yeah. I think when we simplify things down, there's kind of three core problems people face. Now, the first, most obvious, is not enough people know about me. I don't have the attraction system. So earlier, when you mentioned that with your previous business, you're struggling to attract clients reliably and it was painful, and that's what led you kind of back to waiting tables and other things before starting and finding school, which led you to synthesizer, etc. So that's the first core problem. And then you begin to solve that by slowly producing content on YouTube and things like that. Then the secondary problem is kind of the offer, actually. It's the offer and conversion. Maybe we'll chunk this down into two. Converting. It's like you converted 50 people on a $5 product, but it wasn't worth that much to you because of the product you were converting them of. And it didn't even matter if how good your conversion systems were if the offer was incorrect in the first place. It's like what Warren Buffett says, it doesn't matter how hard you row. It matters in what boat you row. And then when you fix the offer, you need to fix how you communicate it and how you sell it, which led us into that sales aspect and the communication aspect and acting as a doctor. And then finally, it's the delivery problem, which you're solving yourself. You have built the skill. You're good at what you do. You've mastered the piano, and now you can help other people do it as well. So, Kuhn, it seems like the next problems we've been working on solving is more attraction, better conversion, scaling the delivery. Where do you expect to be? Where do you expect to go? Where do you want to go 12 months from now?
Well, first of all, I want to break my calendar because that's my objective right now. I need to have too many one-on-one clients in order to go to the next level. Actually, that's also a big part of why I love scaling because I already know what's coming next. I cannot go from level 1 to level 2 to level 3. I cannot skip anything because otherwise it won't work. So the goal for me personally is to have 20 one-on-one clients before moving to a cohort coaching. And even though I feel already right now like, oh, I would love to change to cohort, I don't think it's smart to do that because, yeah, you advise against it. Essentially.
Andrew told me something that Harmozy told him the other day when we were out on a walk that I thought was really important. And it's that the first rule of a mentor or a program isn't to tell you what to do, it's to tell you what not to do. And
Mm,
that is, like, more important because oftentimes we waste more time thinking about what to do, and then not only just thinking about what to do, like spending a week thinking about maybe doing a low ticket, spending 3 months thinking about, "Should I pitch my first high ticket client?" Then you have to go through the work of doing it, and then it's the wrong thing half the time anyways, and you just go cycles and cycles backwards. And I think that's why most people don't make the progress they want. It's not because 'cause they're not working hard. It's because 'cause they're working on the wrong things.
yeah, I definitely think that's true. And to give an example, I have maybe spent 5 or 6 hours in total on my community's logo. Yeah, that was just not super high leverage action. So yeah, just in Canva, we have 30 PNG files, but yeah, not very high leverage action.
What do you think one thing you've removed since joining scaling is? One thing you've stopped thinking about or stopped worrying about or stopped doing?
Um, well, basically anything else other than scaling, I'm not really paying attention anymore because I'm applying the one source rule.
Mm. Anything that doesn't make me money or help people, Kuhn's like, "I don't want it."
Yeah, I mean the focus is always on helping people, of course, but yeah, of course, there's always shiny objects like the money models launch on August 16 was a big one from Hormozy launching his new book. And then you said something like, "Don't watch, like you can watch it, but don't read the book. Like we will apply it to your training." And then I feel peace of mind because then I don't have to read the book, and then I don't have to watch all the YouTube or the school classroom videos. And of course, the upcoming tiers is something that is very shiny.
Yeah.
So yeah, that gives me a little bit of peace.
Yeah, it's like the way I see it is when you get the right mentor, the right program, or the right one source, right? One source to help you scale. That one source is like a filter. And in the world, there's so much noise and dirt and pollution. If we go into the ocean, there's so much pollution out there. There's so much diversity. There's so much different sources of knowledge. There's 100 million ways to tie your shoes and solve the same problem. And sure, you can figure out different ways to tie your shoes, but you don't need to figure out 100 different ways to tie your shoes. You just need one of the most accurate way. And when you have a mentor or someone who's good at what they do and they've been there and they've done that and they're in front of you, they're like the filter that is siphoning out all the garbage, all the junk, all the oil, and just delivering you that clear, filtered, pure water. So you can just drink it. You don't have to waste time worrying about filtering it, sorting through the junk, filtering out all this noise, getting overwhelmed. You can just focus on the things you actually need to do to grow your business. And I'd actually make the argument that's probably maybe the most valuable thing we've possibly given you so that you can focus down on doing the things you need to do to grow your business. Because I'm not on the calls. You're on the calls. I'm not teaching people piano. You're teaching piano. You're the one who's running your business, but we're helping filter the things that help you get there from the front.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely true. And yeah, it just gives me peace of mind. And that is it's like what's the word? Curated training.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, on that note, how likely are you to recommend synthesizer scaling to a friend out of 10? 10 being 10 being, Aiden, I would give up my firstborn child, and a 1 being absolutely no way.
Well, definitely not a 10,
Maybe a
but a 9.9.
okay, we're close. We're close.
Yeah, we're definitely close.
Well, why should someone listening take action now?
I would say uh why to take action right now? Yeah, because if you jump on a call with you, then that's going to be life changing. For me, when I jumped on a call with you, I felt, like I said, I felt hesitating. I didn't know how to pay for it or something. And I just jumped on a call with you. And then after the call, it gave me a lot of clearance, and it gave me a clearance, not clarity. I mean,
Mm,
gave me clarity, and it gave me some time to think if it's for
yep,
me. And well, I definitely thought it was for me. And yeah, just went went with it.
awesome. Well, those are all my questions I have for you, Sir Kuhn. Maybe we'll drop into the chat and see what questions the community might have for you. First, everyone, congrats to Kuhn for taking action, actually following the one source rule, not getting distracted, and going from charging $5 to literally getting a $10,000 sale. Absolutely insane transformation. And shout out to Kuhn. Now, if you guys have questions, drop them in the chat. What is your primary way of driving traffic to your offer from Christian? Kuhn.
Sorry, I missed. I was reading the chat. Can you repeat it for
Yeah.
me, please?
What is your primary way of driving traffic to your offer?
Uh, my primary way is to create long form videos on YouTube. And for me, a big part is that I don't have to edit anything. I just record and upload.
Yeah, did you start doing that when you went through scaling, or were you always doing that?
No, I was doing that since January,
Nice.
and I joined scaling in June. So um, so I could yeah. Uh,
Yeah, and for context, Kuhn does not have a large YouTube channel. He does not have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. And I think that's another reason why switching from low ticket to high ticket works so well, because you better capitalize on the attention you can have. And Kuhn can get incredible deals and sign multiple high-ticket clients with only 1.6 thousand subscribers, which I think is one of the most impressive parts. Cool. And then do you direct them, follow-up question from Christian, do you direct them to your free school or directly to your call? So the funnel.
Yeah, what I've done for a very long time is to um, drive them to my free school. And since 1 month or so, I am including a Calendly link in the description. And depending on how I talk in the YouTube video, I either put the free school on top as the first link or the Calendly link as the first link. So if I talk more about my pay program, I have more a call to action like imagine playing freely without stress and without sheet music. Then you can join my Calendly or click on the Calendly link that goes to a form that they have to fill in. That form already gives me a certain sense of confidence. If they, because one of the questions is, if we were to reach piano freedom, would you invest live on the call? And then they say yes. Then I already feel super confident that we enter the sales call like that. Um, Going back to the question, if I talk more about school and the free content, then my first link is the free community.
Yeah. So it depends on the call to action you're making in your content. And it also, I found, depends on the amount of goodwill and trust you've built. For example, like a very long form piece of content, if someone watches 2 hour long video, they're going to have a lot of trust and they're going to be more likely to want to book a call, which is a harder action to take versus joining a free community. That's a lot of an easier action to take. So the weight of the action is different in the call to action. And that's one of the reasons why a school freemium funnel like Kuhn is running works so well because it capitalizes on not a ton of trust and goodwill. You don't need amazing trust and goodwill and a huge audience and repeat viewers, but you can build and nurture that within your group and then get them on the call and sell them the offer from the freemium group. Another question here. Can one stick to having less highly premium clients instead of more high ticket clients? Less highly premium clients instead of more high ticket clients, meaning going from one on one to course, just landing a few whale semi lifetime clients and growing with them. I'm honestly not really understanding that question.
Let me see.
You can make your school community free. Okay, cool. Christian's full of questions. Do more of your clients come from clients who book calls from YouTube or from school, Kuhn?
So that most of them join from YouTube, and when they join my school community, they get an auto DM, and in the auto DM, I ask them why I start a conversation, and in that conversation, I'm trying to sell the call. And that conversation includes, for example, asking about their biggest challenge, about where they want to be in 12 months, and then I basically ask, would you like some help with it? And if they say yes, I send them my Calendly link. And if they say no, then that's also fine.
Yeah. Simple and clean. Yeah, well, I'm not seeing any more questions in the chat. So if you guys want to listen to Kieran and participate in our next round of synthesizer scaling, you can click the link below to apply and join. We do cancel 60% of calls. Program is not cheap, but it works time and time again. Click the link below, apply to work with us. And final question of the day, Kieran, are you single? No, he's taken by me, Matt. Or his wife, actually. But thanks for the time, guys. Somehow Matt turned his camera on. I don't know how this is happening. I thought this was a webinar.
Yeah.
But thanks, guys, for the time today. And we will see you next week. Hope it was valuable. Hope you learned something from Ku's journey. and see you guys later. Thanks, Coon.
Thanks, everybody.